In exactly 18 months, every electric car rolling off the assembly line today could be obsolete, not broken, not recalled, just worthless. And the technology that kills them is already here. It is called solid state. And if you think this is just another overhyped tech promise, you are not paying attention. Because the biggest car companies in the world are betting everything on it. Toyota just went all in. They are not alone. The question is not if this happens, it is who survives when it does. Let's rewind, because to understand why solid-state batteries could murder the EV industry overnight, you need to know the dirty secret behind every electric car ever made. Every Tesla, every Rivian, every Lucid, they all run on the same 30-year-old technology, lithium-ion batteries. And here is the problem. Inside every one of these cells is a liquid, a highly flammable, chemically unstable liquid that carries electricity between two poles. Which is why, when these things fail, they don't just die, they explode. A gasoline fire, firefighters put it out in minutes. An EV battery fire, it can burn for days. 40,000 gallons of water for one car. But the real issue is not just safety. It is physics. That liquid inside the cell, it is the bottleneck. It limits the energy density, it limits the charging speed, as well as it limits the range. The lithium-ion technology, we have pushed it as far as it can go. And that is the reason your Tesla still can't go 500 miles on a single charge. The reason is not a software problem, it is a physics problem. Unless you remove the liquid entirely. A solid-state battery has no liquid. Instead, it uses a solid electrolyte, ceramic, glass, polymer, something that doesn't leak, doesn't ignite, and conducts electricity faster. And when you do that, everything changes. Suddenly, you can pack twice the energy into the same space. A 300-mile EV becomes a 600-mile overnight. You can charge from 0 to 100% in 10 minutes, not 40, not an hour, only 10 minutes. The battery weighs half as much, which means better performance, better efficiency, as well as lower cost. And the main thing, it doesn't explode. Kind of a big deal. Solid-state batteries sounds like science fiction, except they are not fiction anymore. Quantum Space, Samsung, Solid Power, Toyota, Volkswagen, BMW, they have all cracked it. The CEO of Quantum Space stood on the stage in 2020 and said they had achieved over 800 charge cycles with zero degradation, which is a big deal for EV battery because it is directly impacting to the overall battery life. And if that is true, the entire EV industry just became obsolete. But here is where it gets interesting, because while Tesla was busy selling cars, Toyota went silent. Remember, Toyota invented the modern hybrid. They have been in the battery game longer than anyone, and for years, people mocked them. Toyota is missing the EV revolution. They are falling behind. But they weren't falling behind. They were waiting. In 2023, Toyota announced they had have a solid-state EV in the production by 2027. Not a prototype, not a concept, a real car you can buy. Only charging for 10 minutes, you can get 900 miles of range. That is San Francisco to Seattle on single charge. So now, suddenly, Tesla's Supercharger network doesn't matter because you don't need chargers every 200 miles anymore. Let's say Toyota launches their solid-state battery car in 2027 with 900 miles of range and 10 minutes of charging time with same price as a Model Y. What happens to Tesla? What happens to Rivian? And what happens to Lucid? Who is buying a 300-mile lithium-ion EV when a 900-mile solid-state car costs the same? The resale value also collapses overnight. And here is the kicker. Tesla, Rivian, Ford, they are all locked into lithium-ion supply contracts. Tesla's Nevada Gigafactory produces 37 gigawatt-hours of lithium-ion batteries a year. If solid-state takes over, that factory is paperweight. And Panasonic, LG, they lose their biggest customers. Entire mining operations will shut down. Thousands of jobs vanish. Not because the EVs failed, because they succeeded too well. But here is the twist no one is talking about. Solid-state batteries have a fatal flaw. When you charge them, something called dendrites starts forming, tiny metal fingers that grow from one electrode to the other. And when those fingers touch, the battery short circuits. It dies. Quantum Space claims they solved it. Samsung says they solved it, as well as Toyota also says they have solved the issue. But the thing is, none of them have mass-produced a single car yet, because the lab results and the assembly lines are two very different things. Making one perfect battery in a clean room and making 10 million a year at $80 per kilowatt hour, both are different things. That is the real test. And if Toyota misses 2027, if the chemistry does not scale, if the costs stay too high, then maybe lithium-ion survives for now. But the threat is real and the clock is ticking. So here is what is actually happening. The entire car industry is holding its breath. Tesla knows, Ford knows, as well as GM knows. They all are racing to either develop their own solid-state tech or partner with someone who has it. Ford invested in solid power, GM is working with SES, and also Volkswagen dumped $300 million into quantum space. Even Musk admitted Tesla's working on it because they all know the same thing. Whoever cracks the solid state first doesn't just win the EV market, they own it. And everyone else, they are playing catch up with outdated technology. Remember that Tesla rolling off the line at the start? In 18 months, it might be the automotive equivalent of a BlackBerry. Functional but obsolete. The real question is not whether solid state will replace lithium ion. It is whether your favorite EV company will survive long enough to make the switch. Because 2027 is very close than you think. And when the page turns, the entire game changes.